Welcome to season 3 of the Jeremy Mullins podcast. I am Jeremy, your host. I'm here today again with one of our primary sponsors of the podcast, Tony Schmitt from GreenUp Wealth.
Jeremy, great to be here. Season 3 is rolling. Excited to be part of it.
Yeah, we had a great conversation a couple of days ago on the vision boards. And I'm super excited to get tagged in more of those. And I need to update mine, to be honest. Like after we talked about it the other day, I'm like, man, I need to go and update some stuff, because I'm really into mountain biking right now. And like some short term vision board would have a new Yeti mountain bike.
Wow, there you go. I don't know what that is, but from your reaction, it sounds super cool. And yeah, I've got to update mine, which I'm going to do once travel settles down here in about a week and a half. But like we talked about on there, when my kids get home for Christmas break, I don't know how excited they're going to be, but we're going to do a collective family one as well.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna go and do that with the kids again. Like I said, we've done the one before, and I think it's time to bring it out again, and especially as the kids gotten a little bit older, right? So Brady played football this year. Bree is getting more into dancing and acting. So it'd be cool to see like what their true goals are. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully we can help them out from that. So, but hey, what we're gonna do today, because I thought we mentioned it on the last podcast, but I've never done a podcast on 75 hard. So we were like, let's do it. Let's define it. Let's give the rules. And then I'm gonna give some opinions from my standpoint of coaching thousands of people, over the last 2 decades, or I could say thousands of people in the last decade, where some of those have been doing 75 hard. Some downfalls I see, and some things that, from a nutritional standpoint, that I would want to make sure people had in place. Okay. So Tony, we'll just go back and forth. I'll let you kind of pick one of the rules. I do have them listed out in my notes, so I know you don't have the notes, but you know them by heart. But if we miss one, I've got it here in front of me. I'll make sure we cover it. But we'll just kind of go back and forth. So pick a rule of 75 hard and give it to them.
Love it. You have to follow a diet. Any diet. There you go. I'm going to kick it off straight to your sweet spot. Follow any diet, no alcohol, cookies or anything like that, even if that cookie fits your macros, if that's even possible. But you got to follow a diet.
Got to follow a diet. And the way it's listed out in the book, is you got to follow a diet. Keto, paleo, paleo. It's like a mixture of calories and keto, maybe.
It's in there somewhere.
Yeah. Keto / calorie, macros, etc. But absolutely no cheating, no cheats, and no alcohol. So you're spot on with that. And I'll go ahead and put my little segment in here. This is where I tell people, if you're working with me, and this is my opinion with this, I think you should have a minimum protein target. And if fat loss is your goal, you have a maximum calorie target, right? Because, I've seen a lot of people, hey, I finished 75 hard and they're 60, 70, 80, 100 pounds overweight and they lost 10 pounds. And I got it. It's not a program to lose weight. 100%. I get that. But if you're choosing a diet and you need to lose, 40, 60, 80 pounds, you should lose a significant amount of weight on a discipline building program for 75 days. Okay. So my opinion, when it comes to the diet, there should be a minimum amount of protein and there should be maximum calorie if your goal is fat loss. Now, once again, that's just my opinion on it, because in the book it says you could pick keto and eat just keto foods and do that. But if you're consuming too many calories on keto, you're not going to lose weight. So my point to that is minimum protein, maximum calories if you have fat loss as a goal, along with completing 75 hard.
Jeremy, before we go to the next rule, I think it's important that we point out losing weight and getting healthier is a positive byproduct of doing 75 hard. It is a mental discipline program.
Yep.
It will change the way you think. It will change the way you manage your time. It will change the way really you see things in life. But it is a mental discipline program that Andy built.
Yeah. And that's where, like, when I implemented this in my individuals, where like, okay, this is not a rule of the program, but with the discipline you're building, you should set a minimum protein. And I see so much better results. So just my take on it. But yeah, you can do paleo, or as we said earlier, kaleo, that's calories and paleo together, whatever the case is. So must follow a diet, rule number one. Rule number 2, 2 workouts every single day, no matter what. One of those workouts must be outside, no matter the weather. Okay. So you're going to go do 2 workouts. They're going to be 45 minutes long. And here's the other kicker with this: there must be a separation of these workouts. They cannot be back to back. So I can't go for a 90-minute ride and be like,
Done and dusted. Yeah.
done and done. Okay. Now, so what I could do is get up, do some strength training in my garage gym, come in, answer some emails, answer some messages, hop in the car, drive across town, and then do my bike ride 2 hours later. 2 separate workouts, right? Both of them with intent and one of them outside. So that is, some rules that come along with it. Intensity is not defined. Okay. Intensity is not defined on that. And I would say one of my coaching cues for my people is I encourage a lot of walking. So what I tell them, if you're doing 75 hard, try not to double dip, right? And what I mean by that is I want people moving more in general to help increase caloric expenditure, make them feel good. So at all times, I'm like, hey, go for a 15-minute walk. Take a phone call, go for a walk. When people are doing 75 hard, the intent needs to be the workout.
Yeah.
So that's my little change to the walking is, hey, you need to be intentful about the walk if the walk is a workout on 75 hard.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And I think, if I reflect the first time I did 75 hard, one of the most um, fulfilling parts was it's St. Louis. It's cold. It's miserable in January. And when you're out there in the snow and people are driving by and they're like, "Are you okay? Do you need help?" No. And it was when my younger one, Josh, was still in high school. We went up to Beatree Park down the road, and he's trudging through the snow with me for 45 minutes, and I still have pictures and videos of that, and that was a blast. So in a very twisted way, it's one of the reasons I wanted to start in January, is because um, it's really going to force you to suffer a little bit.
Yeah, no, man. It's like 40 degrees here in the morning, so I'm tease.
Uh-huh. There we go. There
Here
we
we
go.
go.
Yeah.
All right. You're up. Number 3.
He said, you got to drink a gallon of water a day.
3.78 liters of water every single day. That one's simple. Okay. Once again, doesn't matter what you drink it out of. I found this cool little American flag path made in the USA, limited edition. Shout out to Path. I don't know if that's the company name. Drinkpath.com. Hey, want to sponsor the podcast? Send me some water. Doesn't matter. But coaching points. So a lot of times when my people ask, well, hey Jeremy, I'm drinking my pre-workout before, I mix my pre-workout before I work out, and I'm mixing my protein shake and water. Does that count as fluid intake? Yes, for net fluid intake if we're talking about overall wellness. For the 75 hard program, no, because it needs to be 1 gallon of water, right? So don't overthink that. Nothing put in it. 1 gallon of water per day. Rule number 3.
And there's some tips that you can use in there where just knock out 25 ounces of water first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Try to have another 25 done by, mid-morning, and then some over lunch, early afternoon, and just space it out, and have it in an amount that's measured and you can manage throughout the day, and it will become habit. I drink out of this dude here, but this is something I got way back when the soccer team I was coaching, we took the nationals. And so drinking out of this is something special to me, and that's what I do when I'm at home. And so combining some positive energy with it too.
So mine will be 5 of these a day.
Yeah.
Right. Easy to manage and measure, right? From that standpoint.
Yeah.
Number 4, read 10 pages of nonfiction book on a daily basis. Must be personal development, self-improvement, or educational. And audio books do not count. So it can be a tablet. It just can't be an audio book, right? So you have to read it. And it can be 10 pages of books. So maybe you got something that is a really hard read, right? It's 10 pages a day. So maybe you are reading, and I know people actually enjoy this, read multiple books at one time. I'm not like that. I like to kind of consume one and then the next, but you could, so maybe there's a textbook that you have, right? And your, textbook's a little bit harder, bigger pages. I totally get it, but then you got something else. I got one of the books here that I'm going to read with ours, and it's just learning more and on the GLP meds and the peptides. So those are the two books that I'm going to tackle right out of the gate when we roll here. Oh, I'm letting the cat out. We let the cat out of the bag on the last podcast.
Yeah,
When we roll, come January 5th.
that's right. Yeah, I'm reading Meditations from Marcus Aurelius right now, and it's a good read. It's really interesting, but I know come start at 75 hard. I already know the book that I'm starting with, and I'm super excited because I know
Yep.
it's going to get my mind right.
Yeah, and I don't know if you were on the call this week with the team. I'm sorry they run all together. If you were, I apologize. But that was next week with them because we talked about what we're going to do. So next week we're all supposed to come with like 3 breakfast options, for 3 lunch options, 3 dinner options, and kind of a game plan for some of the stuff. Right, like as you mentioned, go ahead and pre-plan, not wait till January 4th and be like, "Well, I'm starting tomorrow. Let me figure some stuff out." Right.
Yeah.
All right, we got 2 more rules.
All right, I'm up. You have to take a progress photo every single day. It was the most difficult for me. It was the most, I'll just leave it at that. It was the one I feared the most. And
Most.
um, it was also one of the most rewarding.
Yeah. Um, That's one most people forget. To be honest, that is the one that most people fell on is forgetting to take that photo. Um, and number 6 is really no substitution, no compromises. Okay. I tell people all the time, like, habit changing is different than 75 hard. And so I had a client message me when we talked about this the other day. I can't remember where we talked about it at, but she's like, "Do we have to do this?" And I'm like, "No." I was like, "I've never." It was on our team call. I was like, "I have never pushed you guys to do 75 hard. I am doing it with you guys, right? With GreenUp. It was a decision that I made to do it with you guys for support and for once again for me, pulling back a little bit of that discipline. And I've done 75 hard twice, but not the entire program. So I always tell people I've not done the full year. I've done 75 hard twice. One of them was in COVID, and it was awesome because I feel like it kept me grounded in that initial COVID
Yeah.
whatever. And I like to have alcohol, and I
Yeah.
like to have a drink every now and again. And now, especially 45 years old, like it's one drink and I'm done because it affects my sleep. But that's why I don't do it often. So what I will do a lot of times is come and pick 30 days that I work on habits, versus doing 75 hard. But where you are doing 75 hard, and this is kind of my invite to everybody who hears this, come January 5th. So it's the first Monday of the new year. And I would love to have people come on and do it. Tony doesn't know this yet, but he's going to come on every so often, periodically here on the podcast
Oh,
and update not only his personal adventure, but how the company is doing in general, because a lot of his employees are going to do it. And we're going to talk about what he sees in them, what maybe he sees in the clients, and how it improves not only discipline, but everything around the individual.
yeah. I mean, it was a life-changing experience for me. And um, if I was just wanting to get more fit or get stronger right now, do I need to do 75 hard? Absolutely not. The reason I decided to do it is really twofold. There are some habits that have crept in to my life that I want to change. And I'm fully confident that 75 hard can do it. It is that powerful of a program. The second one, and the reason I put a little runway out there before I'm starting, is I want to invite other people to join us on this experience, whether it's members of our team here at GreenUp or members of Team Alpha or just anyone listening to this, friends, family, whomever. Come join us. It's going to be awesome and it's going to be a ton of fun. And we're going to share a lot of good energy, support. Love to see a bunch of us tracking together on social. It's just going to be a great time. And we're going to come through it 75 days later and be like, hell yeah, that was the best decision I've made all year because it's going to set up so much other success throughout the year as well.
Some other common things I want to say before we recap the rules. Remember, workouts can be any intensity, but they need to be intentional. Okay, so if you've been walking and taking phone calls and that type of stuff, I would ask you not to. I would ask you to just put in the time that on your walk at a fast pace. Okay. Now, for my clients, I still love to see additional movement to burn extra calories. 10 minutes of walking here, 10 minutes of walking there, taking phone calls. Yes. But I wouldn't count that as the workout, even if it was 45 minutes on this program. Remember, you should be sore. And this is not the best program for fitness. And what I mean by fitness being like peak fitness, if you got something you're training for, so I will probably do every third or fourth day, mobility work and stretching and yoga as like a recovery session, and then a brisk walk outside. So that'll kind of be like every fourth or fifth day, a way for me to re-energize the body, but that's intentional. I want to make a purpose in saying that. Remember, on the books, it can be an ebook or physical. It just can't be audio. And then the diet, probably the best way on the diet, like I said, I gave you some personal things I would do if I was your coach, but also I would say any diet needs to be specific and measurable. That's the best way to answer it, right? Like, so if you're going to do a paleo or you're just not going to eat fast food or whatever it is it specific and can you measure it? Okay, when it comes to that. And the other thing is, like I think things should be on a 24-hour basis, right? Like, especially like the water and that type of stuff is like 24-hour basis to get it in. I know that one's just an iffy one, but like you shouldn't need additional time to get your shit done.
No. Well, it's one of the benefits of it. It really, because you're squeezing all these things in you got to do, and you learn how much time we actually have and we're actually wasting throughout the day. And for those people like me that maybe need a little bit more information, there's the book on 75 Hard. You don't have to buy it. And I'm not saying you should, but I need a certain level of information to be comfortable and to help me succeed. And that is why I had bought and read the book the first time I did 75 Hard as well. So, if you do need a little more information, do it. You can download the 75 Hard app. But if you forget to update something, you're going to see Andy sitting there scowling at you. So, buyer beware there. But you don't have to have that either. But I will say, if you're sitting here saying, man, I'd love to have a better 26, this is the way.
Awesome. As always, brother, A, appreciate you being on here. B, appreciate your financial support for the podcast. Looking forward to, A, getting better as individuals in 2026, but also getting better, as a group on 75 Hard. So if you want to join us, hop on in January the 5th, Monday, January 5th. We're all getting started.
Let's go.